given a spoiler log to review for 15 minutes, and you can see they are now off to the races. So with that 15-minute review, they have now been told where exactly every major progression item is. And it is up to them to figure out what is the most efficient route. So you can see already we have SaltyPhry already going up to Hyrule Castle, whereas Pikapals has started off in Sanctuary. So interesting route divergence. SaltyPhry going into the back of the escape with nothing but 3 bombs. Very gutsy move because you do need a specific amount of bombs to get through. Meanwhile, we see Pikapals heading up into the Lost Woods. And he finds his first progressive glove. Now, both of these runners knowing exactly where everything is. It looks like SaltyPhry is electing to go in here and using his last bomb on this last green guard here. But because he knew he had that extra key available to him, can bypass the requirement to have to defeat those 2 guards. A very clever play. But now he needs those 2 pots to finish off the final guard. But he gets through it, and he is rewarded with the big key, and in Zelda Cell we have the Moon Pearl, definitely a requirement here. Meanwhile, over on Pika's side, we saw him pick up the Book of Medora, which would be either our desert access, or there might be items waiting for us on the tablets. And Pikapal's picking up his first sword. And a little bit of money. That brings him up to 110, enough to either buy a full set of bombs, or perhaps go to this bottle merchant. And the bottle merchant is actually holding one of the 4 bottles. And humorously, Pikapals is immediately going to release it and sell it back to the bottle merchant for 100 rupees. Now that bottle does unlock the sick kid, who is going to provide us today with the hammer. And now I imagine the Pikapals might be doing a similar play to SaltyPhry, now going up into Hyrule Castle to get his Moon Pearl, whereas SaltyPhry retracing Pikapals' steps over the past couple of minutes. Yes, it is interesting to note that SaltyPhry did not grab the gloves quite yet, even though they're right there in the Lost Woods hideout. Pikapals is actually going right into the back here, going to the Dark Cross section here, navigating this dark. Well, I think I may have misspoke. It looks like SaltyPhry did get his gloves. We'll double check next time he brings down his menu. And that looks to be a death warp over on Pikapal's side. Alright, now that the both runners have retraced each other's steps, we'll see where SaltyPhry is off to next. Well, we do have a glove, we do have a hammer, and we do have a moon pearl, so SaltyPhry looks like he is immediately going to make a dive into the dark world. Now here in the Dark World, we got several interesting things here, right here in the village of Outcasts. We'll see what exactly SaltyPhry goes for. First stop here at the chess game, and he's going to be upgrading his weaponry with the Master Sword. And then we'll be exploring the brewery here with the flutes. Yeah, it looks like Fry is just a little bit ahead of Pikapals right now. SaltyPhry did a nice little move to go into the back of, back all the way to Zelda cell pretty early in the game with only 3 bombs, but he managed to pull it off. Whereas Pikapals decided to get some weaponry first. Now here's an interesting play. SaltyPhry going to do the arrow game. This is a pretty easy one to manipulate. You just wait for those squids to hit the second curtain and then fire your arrows. You usually don't see this unless you are playing inverted mode, because this is one of the easy ways to get rupees pretty. Pikapal's making a stop real quick for some red potion. You know, it'd probably be about the same time loss as a Houlihan. It just depends on if you have the ability to set it up. It looks like SaltyPhry needed the rupees for the Diggy game here, and this is one of the safeties that we were talking about. We have the lamp here. And depending on the location of the fire rod, it may actually be required. Now we see Pikapals on his way up to the Palace of Darkness as his first stop here in the Dark World. While SaltyPhry activates his flute. And it looks like SaltyPhry is also going to get himself some backup potion as well. So looking at the spoiler log, it does appear that a lot of our boss heart containers, which is going to be the main source of health throughout the seed, are locked in some pretty obscure locations. So I do have a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a light seed on the full hearts, and Pikapal's going ahead and getting his mirror out of the shooter room, which means Pod is bow locked, unless of course you have a potion. So I have a feeling we're about to see some potion glitches from both of our runners here as SaltyPhry heads to Pod himself as well. So here for the potion glitch, the way you set it up here is you kind of move to the left as you chug your potion. So we'll see Pikapals set this up here. Move to the left, chug the potion, hug the right wall, and then that unlocks the screen. You can just manipulate these mimics off screen, and the door opens. Now, both Pikapals and SaltyPhry are going to require the bow before to finish the Palace of Darkness, so they must be coming in here to pick up some required items that's going to make getting the bow easier. Which, without spoiling too much, yes, the bow is in a pretty ridiculous location. So again, SaltyPhry setting up his potion glitch. And in much the same way, just manipulate those mimics off screen. And here we are in the Harmless Hellway for Pikapals, where we find a mail upgrade. So as I was mentioning earlier, it is probably going to be a pretty heart-light seed, so these mail upgrades are actually really valuable. They effectively double the number of hits that you can take from enemies, with certain exceptions. And Pikapal's now setting up for a hammer jump. Trying to get just the right pixel. And it's just that easy. And here we have the hook shot. And now we immediately save and quit. So obviously, mirror and hook shot, two very important items for progression that'll probably get us a little closer to where we need to be to get the bow and come back and finish this off. Alright, now we see Pikapals is back into the Dark World. This time he seems to be taking a pretty long walk. And I got a feeling he's about to go visit our friend the catfish. SaltyPhry electing not to do the bomb jump today. Sometimes it is a little difficult, especially on this short amount of health, so I can't blame him for that. And there's the hook shot for him. And Pikapals has angered the catfish, and the catfish will now hand over the fire rod. So that does make the lamp more of a safety item, a good thing for darkroom navigations. But it looks like Pikapals is going to be just okay without it, and especially with all the runners here in this round of 16. A lot of them are probably comfortable with darkroom navigation. It just might save a few seconds depending on how efficient you are without it. Yeah, it does look like Pika is a little ahead, but do keep in mind that he hasn't gone to the Village of Outcasts quite yet. And that's exactly what it looks like he's doing right now. Meanwhile, we see SaltyPhry mirroring back over to the Bombos tablet. With the Book of Medora in hand, he will be rewarded with his second glove upgrade, so now he's got the Titan's Mitts. Well, a fire rod could not be not required. It just depends on how comfortable you are with lighting torches with either the lamp or not. Because technically, the Skull Woods is a pendant dungeon, so not necessarily required yet. And yes, this is a spoiler race, so everyone does know the item locations. As we see Quake over here from the Mire Shed. Now, we do get to know what the medallion requirements are for both Misery Mile and Turtle Rock, and so that Quake is going to open up Turtle Rock, but Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon this seed. And Pikapals, in the meantime, has gone to the Dark World, pulled his ocarina out of the brewery, and is now activating it. And it looks like SaltyPhry is also going to head up to Catfish to get his fire rod now as well. Meanwhile, Pikapals heading into Thieves Town. This is a required dungeon. Not too much to speak of here. There is one safety they may consider picking up, but it doesn't look like Pikapals is going for it. Yeah, Pika's going straight to the back here and is going to go ahead and finish off the dungeon. It is actually the Cane of Burna is available in among those first 4 chests, so it doesn't look like Pika wants that. Well, SaltyPhry gets his fire rod. Another interesting thing to note here is we're 18 minutes into the seed and both of our players are still walking, which, since both of them know exactly where the Pegasus boots are, you can probably infer that it's in a pretty ridiculous location. Looks like further divergence here. SaltyPhry is going to go ahead and head up a Death Mountain. He's got his Titan's Mitts, so he can explore Dark Death Mountain and the Paradox Cave area in one fell swoop. And it looks like he's going to elect to look at Paradox Cave first. Oh, those mini mobile arms can be so trolly. But here we have yet another sword upgrade and the Cane of Samaria. A nice to have and a certainly required item. Pikapal's picking up his 4th piece of heart, so getting another heart container and this already health star seed. And Pikapals getting ready for his blind fight. Let's see what the pun is today. We've added a few new ones to the random. Your princess was in another crystal. Pikapal is doing a really good job here with the blind fight script. And it is just that easy. No cane of Bruna required. Meanwhile, we have SaltyPhry going up Super Bunny Cave and heading up into Hookshot Cave here. We got an extra safety potion with some red goo in it. And the magic powder. So we can either use that as a safety for all the anti-fairies that you'll find in a lot of the late game dungeons, as well as perhaps checking the Mad Batter later on. And now it looks like Salty's getting ready to make his turtle rock dive. So yeah, this has been quite a divergent seed here. Both runners have taken very different paths. Pikapal's just now getting over to get his Titan's mitts off of Bombo's tablet. As SaltyPhry is heading into Pendant Turtle Rock.
Hey, Quizbowl.
Hey, Sidax. So, welcome to the stream.
Oh yeah. So David123, he has a little bit of technical issues, so he'll get that sorted out, and we'll hear his lovely voice next time. But for now, you have me. I have no clue actually what's going on right now, so can you give me like a small recap?
Well, all right. Well, this has been a very interesting seed so far. So, we started off with both runners taking two very different routes to get either the Moon Pearl out of the back of Escape in Zelda's cell, and then going into Kakariko Village to get an early sword and hammer off of Sick Kid. From there, the paths have diverged so much that even I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what's going on. But so far we have SaltyPhry here in Pendant Turtle Rock after getting the Quake Medallion off of the Mire Shed. And looks like Pikapals is headed into the Desert Palace. And both runners did around the same time go into Pod, use the potion glitch to get some extra keys in there in order to get the hook shot out of the big chest. So lots of stuff going off in multiple different directions. It's been quite a seed.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you've done a really good job with your tournament bot.
Oh yeah, no, that thing creates some spiciness sometimes. Speaking of spiciness, yeah. So everybody knows this is a game 3. The winner will be moving on to the round of 8, and this could really be an upset if SaltyPhry wins. This will probably destroy a lot of people's brackets.
Yeah, I know. I personally have faced off against Pikapals in previous tournaments, and he's a very accomplished runner, and I think I had him going deep into the bracket as well. And we see those flippers there in the vanilla big key chest on SaltyPhry's side.
Oh man, that's a wonderful spot for it in a blind run.
Well, just you wait. There's still some more value to be had here in Turtle Rock. Oh yeah, definitely not to downplay SaltyPhry. I know he's an accomplished runner as well, but Pikapals is very highly seeded in this particular tournament. And just the personal connection I had with racing against him before was the only reason I mentioned that.
Oh no, like Pikapals, he was in our top 8, and our top 8 group, they were pretty accomplished runners. That being said, SaltyPhry does have a strong opportunity right now to kind of pull this from underneath Pika, so we'll have to see how this all pans out.
Another thing that I was really impressed with SaltyPhry is he went in to go to Zelda's cell and he only had 3 bombs, and I was really worried with what was going to happen with that. But he knew how to read that log. There was a key in that first chest, so he didn't even have to defeat 2 of the guards with those 3 bombs.
Oh, he is continuing.
Yeah, so not only is that the Ether Medallion that gets you into Misery Mire, which is required, by the way, there's still some more value to be had here in Turtle Rock.
Alright, yeah, this seed is a little spicy.
You're reading the log now, aren't you?
Maybe. Like, I'm just like reading this based on what people are doing right now, and I'm guessing it's probably only gonna get worse. We'll see, I guess. I have not seen a whole lot of it. Turtle Rock is the Billy Mays dungeon this time around, I guess.
Exactly, the flippers. But wait, there's more ether. But wait, there's even more boots.
Alright, now SaltyPhry bails. He has got everything he wants out of there. 3 pieces of at least 2 pieces of progression.
I think the most humorous part about that is the ice rod is on the torch in Desert Palace.
Oh, alright, so it was 3 pieces of progression.
Yeah,
well, no,
but it's not required, unfortunately. So would have been great if it was, though. That would have just been the cherry on top.
Oh yeah, that would have been. If that was a crystal.
Of course, now SaltyPhry is immediately diving into Ice Palace, another pendant dungeon.
Yeah, this dungeon's a little cooler off. It's not as spicy.
It's the dessert after your gumbo.
Now this chest must have something. Yeah, that's nice to have. It kind of makes the routing here a little bit more bearable.
Yeah, I always love it when I see a small key in that first chest, because it just lets you go immediately to the right side after you do your bomb jump, if you elect to do that.
SaltyPhry playing some hot potato with that bomb. And Pikapals is finally making his way into Turtle Rock. He's going to go ahead and collect the treasure that weighed inside.
Yeah, and the reason that he's here so far behind is he had elected to go ahead and go into Desert Palace ahead of time, so he's got one more dungeon on SaltyPhry. He also has Thieves' Town at this point as well, whereas SaltyPhry hasn't done any of his dungeons yet.
And also based on the fact SaltyPhry isn't that he's going into these other chests here in Ice Palace.
Now he's only on 1 heart, so he needs to be careful. I think he does have a red potion from Hookshot Cave, which he could chug if he needs it. Another.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
I'm saying it's not fun to like get all the way back here into Ice Palace and just die.
Exactly. I mean, another thing I was mentioning before is that It seems that a lot of the boss heart containers are just locked behind some pretty ridiculous locations, so it's going to be a very unhealthy seed. And look at that right there. That is our bow.
So to answer Redeer1 in chat, yes, they are allowed to take notes. They can't use like software that they've written to like parse through the log and kind of to create something for them. But they can read what's there and they can take notes. They can rearrange it as they see fit to kind of plan out their route. Different runners usually have like different techniques. It's really kind of up to the runner how they feel like doing it. I know one runner uses pen and paper. I think it's Gamer Cow.
I actually did a combination of both, as I would highlight everything in the log, and then I would write down the key items on paper so that I would always have that right next to me. But then I could always scroll up and down from dungeon to dungeon just to, do my key routing on the fly. But yeah, again, it's up to runner's choice.
Alright, so this is the second dip into pod, huh?
Exactly. So both runners were here before, and both runners successfully did the potion glitch to bypass the bow requirement and get deeper in here to get their hook shot. So now it's just a matter of going in here and finishing it out.
Well, I could see that sequence break really cleaning up some of the routing that the players would have had to otherwise do.
So another interesting difference between SaltyPhry and Pikapals, the lamp was at the digging game, and SaltyPhry did elect to pick it up, but Pikapals, on the other hand, decided to skip it, and so he'll be doing all of these dark rooms coming up here, both the one here in Dark Palace when he gets there, and the one he's about to get into in Turtle Rock without any light.
That's certainly going to save SaltyPhry time. Unless you're like perfect at your dark rooms, the lamp is actually, it will save you some time. I'm not sure how much it'll offset. I guess it depends on the skill of the runner.
Yeah, and it was only 6 or 7 digs for the lamp, so it wasn't even like a 30 dig lamp.
That could be like one of the scenarios where actually seeing that information in the log might affect your decision to go for it.
I think the other scenario was if there was something both at the digging game and on the race game, and you wanted to just dig up the item as the last square and then immediately jump down and mirror to the race game.
I think we saw some of that during the qualifiers.
Yeah, I remember that was qualifier 2, if I remember correctly.
Alright. SaltyPhry hammers out his differences with Helmasaur King and picks up, I think that's his first crystal, yes.
That is his first.
So Pikapals does have a crystal advantage though over SaltyPhry.
But looking at the equipment loadout right now, I do believe that does put SaltyPhry in go mode when he got his bow back at Ice Palace. So at this point, SaltyPhry just needs to go through all the dungeons.
Just let the muscle memory kick in. I've seen that as being kind of one of the difficult things to kind of break when you're playing a spoiler race, is just not checking things you normally would check. And because like usually when you're in Eastern Palace, you're not in go mode. You're going to be checking everything.
Yeah, I mean, when you play rando long enough, you always get into those scenarios where you get to do go mode one palace or another, and so I think I've done pretty much every dungeon in go mode at least once.
Yeah.
I think I remember the very first time I did Palace of Darkness in go mode, I forgot the big key.
Must be nothing in the big chest. Pika making his way through Ice Palace. Had also a little bit of trouble with the bombs, but recovered quite nicely. These Stalfos, though. There we go. This is like one of the few times you really don't want to bomb jump in Ice Palace. It's pretty much unnecessary.
Yeah, since you're not going all the way down, you can just go through it normally and not have to worry about it. Now, Pika did elect to do the hammer jump in Palace of Darkness, and again, all bomb jumps are going to be really dangerous with this low health.
SaltyPhry getting the quick kill. And claiming his second crystal.
So that ties it up. I really like that Bidoof bunny sprite for Pikachu.
Oh, I agree. We have some really talented artists in the community, creating some really awesome sprites.
And they just keep adding more and more all the time. If you ever go to the main Discord, you can see the sprite development channel, and you can see all the different sprites that they're working on. It's amazing to see. Alright, now it looks like the runners are kind of swapping dungeons here. We've got Pikapals heading up to Pod and probably do Eastern right after, whereas SaltyPhry is going to go ahead and do Thieves Town. And it looks like SaltyPhry is also going to elect to ignore the Cane of Berna here in the ambush chest.
By the way, don't spoil me on the blind pun. I want to see which one it is.
Oh, okay. Nice God Pixel run here for SaltyPhry.
Oh. That's so satisfying when you get it.
Yeah, because you can do everything right, and still the enemies will trail you and get in the way. So it just feels so great when it happens.
I mean, it looks like right now SaltyPhry and Pikapals will probably just be trading dungeons.
Yeah, I think the only thing SaltyPhry might have going for him is just that synergy with Desert Palace and Misery Mire doing those at the same time. Since Pikapals went ahead and knocked that out early, he kind of loses the time for having to go back to that region of the map.
Yeah, it's... With the flute, it's not that hard to get back there, but... That's, seconds matter in these races.
Indeed they do. Oh no, Pikapals forgot a key. He's gonna have to go all the way back here to the dark basement to get an extra key to finish off Palace of Dark.
That's unfortunate. Princess was in another crystal. That was a good one. I think that was one of the ones that came from the community.
Yeah, apparently I'm not allowed to submit suggestions anymore.
Oh yeah, I think I gave one of yours a hammer reaction.
It's okay, I responded with a bomb to the validation chest.
So I guess that's crystal number 3.
Yeah, so SaltyPhry's now in the lead.
Yeah, I wonder where he'll go next. Yeah, it looks like he's going to knock both of these out. That's a good call. Then I suspect we'll probably see him do Swamp Palace, then probably make his way up into Hera, complete that, and then go into Thieves Town. Or not Thieves Town, but Ganon's Tower. Alright. So this is a Dark Turtle room. With the Fire Rod, it's not as bad. If you qualified for this tournament, yeah, you're probably good with your dark rooms though, like this.
Yep.
Yes, I do know.
Huh. Oh my word, dude.
Oh, is that David? Did you
Oh
finally
wait,
get
am
in
I
here?
on?
Yes,
You're
you are.
on.
Oh my gosh, wow. I am so sorry, guys. I've been fooling around with this for the past, 41 minutes? I hope I have everything figured out now.
All right, so you joining us now?
Yes, I'm gonna give Synac a break.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and put you back up at the bottom of the screen there. Thanks, everybody.
Alright.
Yep, sorry about that.
And thanks, Synac, for pinch hitting here.
You're the best, man.
Alright, well, let's see if we can catch you up on 42 minutes worth of action here. Well, at this point, both of our runners have actually hit go mode. The bow was the last item that needed to be found, which was deep within the depths of the Ice Palace, all the way at the Vanilla Big Key location.
Okay.
So now both of them are just kind of retracing each other's steps as they boss rush the rest of the seed.
Alright, so it should be pretty smooth sailing from here on out.
Yeah, so we probably won't know exactly who's in the lead until we finally get over to Ganon's Tower.
As the way it's intended to be.
One nice little interesting thing here is in spoiler tournament format, you definitely want to try and see if you can save Tower of Hera for last if you can, because all you have to do is mirror back and then use your portal to go to Ganon's Tower. But a lot of the seeds that we've been seeing this tournament, there've been something really important in Tower of Hera, and so that made it impossible.
Yeah.
This one, it's possible, so it's fun to finally see them take advantage of that.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have Pikapals in here, so I'm sure he can make that happen. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to gather up some information here.
Oh yeah, no problem. So Pikapal's just working on the Armos Knight quick kill, while SaltyPhry goes in here and tries and deal with Vitreous. Kind of going with the slash as much as you can strategy.
Yeah.
Interesting, neither of our runners have silver arrows yet, which was the only thing that could kind of make things a little faster here. Ooh, Salty took a hit there.
Was it 8 arrows? Yep, there we go.
Yep, 8 regular arrows or 2 silvers if you have them.
Oh, it's 2 silvers. Okay, this whole time I thought it was 1.
Yeah, Vitreous is the only boss that has more health than the silver arrows deal. I believe he has 128 health, whereas the silvers will only deal 100 damage. So you do have to hit twice.
Well, I was today years old when I learned about this. Oh, he's gonna go for the what's that? The bird throw? Is he gonna do it? Pikapal's gonna do it?
Yeah, it looks a little too far away.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Something I like to do if it just so happens to work out that way, but that's just me.
To each their own. Alright, so SaltyPhry's dipping into desert and picks up the key.
And that was a very nice one cycle from Pikapals. So if he can finish this the Misery Mire before SaltyPhry finishes Desert, then that'll actually put Pikapals in the lead, because then they will both have Swamp left to do and Tower of Hera left to do.
Alright, SaltyPhry picks up the big key.
Ooh, and I think Pikapals is making a mistake here. Yeah, so that's the compass chest, but the big key that he's looking for is in the map chest. So I think he might have confused the two locations.
Happens to the best of us.
And that is one of the things about the spoiler log tournament is, you know, a lot of times these rooms have clever names, but if it had the map or it had the compass in it originally, it's just called the map chest or the compass chest. And we're all speedrunners. We don't pick up maps or compasses.
There's the big key for Pikapals.
And then, of course, the other distinction between these two runners is that SaltyPhry did go out of his way to pick up the lamp, whereas Pikapals decided not to. So he'll have to do this this room coming up here dark.
Ooh, yes, I just noticed that. Where was the lamp?
It was actually at the digging game, and it wasn't. I think it was about 6 or 7 digs in order to get at it. Yeah, so we're doing this blind here. It looks like he's going to move over to the left, pick up the pot, and he's... Yeah, there's two main strategies for that. There's you can kind of hug the left wall and then make a right turn and then hit the cane. Or the way I like to do it is I always like to put myself in the lower left-hand corner and then take a step to the right and then toss a block upward from there.
Looks like SaltyPhry's headed to Swamp right now. And I think Pikapals just did the... What's that glitch called again? I can never remember the name of it.
I think it's called the Spooky Fire Rod
Spoopy,
glitch.
yes. There it is.
Yes, I don't quite understand it myself. It's something I really need to look into, but it has to do with the way that you have the duck fly off the screen when you originally come into desert, and then it stores a particular value in it that allows the fire rod to do crazy things. And he's got to be really careful here. Oh, he has two red
these
potions.
Yes. Oh, okay, so Pikapals does have the bow. I just noticed it wasn't marked on his tracker, so I wasn't sure that he got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he pulled that out of Ice Palace before he started to do Go mode, Eastern, and Pod.
Okay. Yeah, I knew he was in Go mode. I just... I got a little confused there for a second, but
Yeah,
we're good to go now.
No worries, Dimensive. Shoutouts to Dimensive, our tracker here today. He's done a really good job of keeping us updated on the tracker here. Just one slight little error, no big deal.
Pikapals will be making his way to Swamp.
And this is another one of those dungeons where there is not even anything remotely interesting in any of the other chests. We're just gonna straight up go mode this. Oh, SaltyPhry stopping down for the. There was a boss heart there in the waterfall chat. Other than that, and a couple other, there really weren't a lot of boss hearts within the pathway that these runners had to take. So you can see that SaltyPhry is sitting here on 7 hearts. Pikapals actually managed to route 4 heart pieces in, so he'll wind up with 8.
We're gonna get the 1 cycle here. Oh.
Yeah, the 1 cycle is a pretty tough trick to pull off. You also kind of have to manipulate it with the boots, I think.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, the phase 2 1 cycle is a very nice nice touch.
Gorgeous. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he has 6 crystals. SaltyPhry has 6 crystals.
And Pikapals just has the 5 at the moment, so it's this one and Tower of Hera. So we'll be after this palace, we'll be seeing them both go up to Ganon's tower.
Having sword beams right there really does make it more convenient, because those troll rocks right there can just definitely get in your way.
Oh, tell me about it. I think my last seed, I got about 6 or 7 dead rock blocks throughout the entire race.
Ouch.
I do not like those.
Me neither, buddy. So it must be nice not to have to dive into Turtle Rock. Oh wait,
Well,
nope. I'm sorry.
You were not here for that escapade.
I just noticed.
Yes, these runners had to go over to Mire to get the Quake to open it, and then after they opened it, they had to go inside to get not only their flippers, not only the ether to open up Mire, but also their boots were in the laser bridge.
Oh wow! I eat my words right now. I just noticed that after I said that, I took a look down and I was like, oh wait.
That's all right. All right, so Pikapals is about 54 when he finished. SaltyPhry was about 52 when he finished Swamp House. So about a 2-minute difference between our runners right here. So we'll have to see if Pikapals can make up that amount of time between these last 2 dungeons.
Absolutely, it's going to come down to execution right now.
It'll also come down to one interesting decision that they're going to have to make when we get to GT. We'll talk about that here as soon as Troll Dorm goes down. Well, since it's going to be a very short trip from the end of Tower of Hera to the start of GT, why don't we go ahead and get our chat involved here. Where do you guys think that the big key is hiding? We, of course, know exactly where it is, and you should actually tell us exactly the chest it's in. No, don't give us a number, because these runners can kind of throw off the standard numbering. So give me an exact room.
There's the SaltyPhry going in for his Troll Dorm fight. It's that first spin. One more hit would get it done. Oh, oh. There he goes. He got it.
Yeah, he's hiding over there on the left side. Yeah, I'm seeing some interesting rooms here. So I don't think I've seen the right one yet.
Well, that's all you, man, because I have no idea. Alright, chat. Get your guesses in now. Because once he steps in, it's the guesses are done.
Oh no, Pikapals takes a fall from Troll Dorm.
Ouch.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and spoil this right now. SaltyPhry's in the room that it's in. There it is.
There it is.
So now here's the big question. The silvers are downstairs in the map chest, so you would have to go 2 rooms left and 1 room down and get an extra key. So do you think it's worth the time to go down there and get the silvers versus doing a silverless Ganon?
Wow, that's a tough call right there. I wouldn't do it personally.
You know, I, on the other hand, I think I might actually, just for a couple of reasons. And I'm not terribly great at silverless Ganon, but I can do it. I usually take more than the 12 spins that are required. But also from like a magic conservation standpoint, neither runner was able to get half magic, which by the way was in Pyramid Fairy.
Okay.
So it is possible to run out of magic if you are using the fire rod to relight that torch constantly. So we'll see if Pikapals makes that decision the other way, or if he sticks with his silverless plan.
Meanwhile, SaltyPhry is just making quick work of these rooms right now. It's like a man possessed.
Yeah, those were some beautiful gauntlet rooms.
Absolutely. Alrighty.
Look at this. Look where Pikapals is going.
Oh.
Now, the runners are allowed to watch this restream or each other's stream, and so Pikapals could very well see that SaltyPhry skipped the silvers and is making a gamble of this, that way.
Alright, there's the silvers. Do you think that's going to make much of a difference?
It very well could.
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, that little bump right there, just wow.
Yes, I have not seen that bonk before.
Yeah, bonk. I'm sorry. And ooh.
Yeah, but that's safety powder. Both of those runners picked it up in the hookshot cave, so it's paying dividends here in the last room before Moldorm 2.
And beautifully done right there by SaltyPhry.
So it is going to come down, spins versus silvers.
Set up for the nice little... oh, 2 hits.
Just missed the triple there.
Oh no.
And Pikapals let those Moldorms get away from him. Or, sorry, the land molas.
And SaltyPhry takes care of Aga 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's not particularly happy with those blue ball cycles that he got. All right, here we go. Oh, should have got the boots earlier, but they were all the way in Turtle Rock, Ganon. We're already on phase 2.
Alrighty.
Oh no!
No!
That's going to close the gap considerably. SaltyPhry going right back into it. Yeah, blue mail only protects you down to 3 hearts, so it's only two hearts, and it's gonna insta kill you here.
Yes, SaltyPhry cannot afford another death or a fall at this point.
And he does have a leftover red potion, so if he needs it, he should chug it. And yes, the teleport cycles are off now. They are set for the first round only, and then they are randomized.
Kind of like the blinds fight. Ooh, Pikapals with a nice little 3 cycle. Or a 3 hit.
And he got one there despite the blue ball, so he might be able to wrap this up right here.
Oh.
Just missed it. Meanwhile, SaltyPhry gets the torch glitch and is now working on his spins, his sword spins. We need 12 of these.
At 3 now?
Yep, I was paying attention to the Aga 2 fight, so I might not be quite sure about the count.
4, 5, maybe 6. Okay, I might be off a little bit too myself.
Yeah, if you time it right, you can get 3 with 1 fire rod shot, and he's getting low on magic too, so you might want to switch to lamp.
Yes.
Oh, but that's 12.
Yes, it is.
And that will put SaltyPhry finishing in first place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 40 seconds. So subtract 15 minutes off for the study period. And that gives you the 104.40 that he has on his timer. Get your GGs in chat. As we see Pikapals finishing up with those silvers. That was 3.
And there it is.
Pikapals will be checking in just behind him with an SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, 28 seconds, or 105.28 as his timer is looking at. So another great game between both of these runners. So get your GGs in chat for both of them.
You should give them both a follow. They put on a very good race here, and they deserve it.
Yeah, and we'll see if we might get them in here for an interview. Oh, and we are now joined by the winner, SaltyPhry. Hey, SaltyPhry, GG.
Thank you.
Well, that was a very close. Oh, and we also have Pikapals in here. GG.
Hey, GG Salty.
Thanks, Gigi.
So yeah, that was a really close race between the two of you guys. That was some high level.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way.
So,
I guess I made it a little closer by dying to Ganon as well, but I imagine even then that didn't cost me that much time. I mean, of all the places to die, that's one of the kind of better ones since you respawn right there. Like, it's not like dying to like Cold Stare or Vitreous where you got to go all the way through the dungeon again.
yeah, and the one question I wanted to ask Pikapals is when you got to Ganon's tower, there was a choice to either grab the key and head up the tower, or grab the key and grab the silvers and head up the tower. So. Obviously, Salty, you decided not to do that, whereas Pika went and did got the silvers. Were you planning to do that from the get-go, or did you react to seeing Salty not do that?
No, I was kind of planning that from the get-go. It was kind of a toss-up whether or not it'd be faster, but I felt like, assuming I could get a good spot for doubles or triples on Ganon, plus being able to do Landmo easily. Well, should have been able to do Landmo easy, but there were enough.
Yeah, I saw it got away from you.
Enough time.
Yeah, so that was the question we were asking. It looked like it was about a 2-minute difference at Swamp Palace, and it looks like you kind of made up a little bit of that as you both cleared Tower of Hera. But yeah, that was the big question: is it worth the time and the effort to go out of the way to get those silver arrows from the map chest? Because it wasn't too far, but it might just be far enough to make you wonder.
That was a really weird location for them just because of that, because like you think about it, it's like 30 to 40 seconds to go get it, and then it's like 30 to 40 seconds that it's saved. So it's like, do you want to? Do you not want to? So it's really kind of a weird decision on that one. Either way, I don't see a real big difference one way or another with that play.
Yeah, pretty much. It also helped that I was low on arrows, so it helped alleviate the arrow cost a bit.
Hey, see, that's interesting. If I was low on arrows, I may well have done the same thing, actually, just because of that as well. Because, yeah, obviously. Well, I guess at the same time, if you have 8 to get by the first 2 mimic rooms, you don't necessarily need any more at that point in time if you don't have silver.
Yeah, so what are you guys thinking about the rest of the seed? What did you think of double dipping Pod and having to make a detour into Turtle Rock?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. A couple of pendant, and we also had to go into ice as well. Yeah, so it kind of took you everywhere, all around. So it's not surprising that this one didn't end up sub-hour, considering all the roundabouts that it kind of sent you, and having to get all the way up to Cat Quakefish at one point in time as well to get that fire rod felt kind of bad as well, just with how slow that was.
Yeah, pretty much. And unfortunately, it really didn't help that I screwed myself in Pod by forgetting to grab a key my first time back there.
Yes, that's right. We saw that. So I think Salty, you went into the dark basement from the get-go anyway, whereas I think Pikapals, you just decided to do the bomb jump there to get the hook shot.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those things where I just forgot to count my keys correctly. And if Compass Chest had been a key instead of a piece of art, everything would have been perfect. But It didn't help me out. Plus,
Well,
I would have
happens.
been. I guess I would have been fine on keys if I hadn't grabbed the armor, but it was just too close for me to not want.
Yeah, definitely. The armor upgrades are very valuable here. Being able to tank is twice as many hits in most situations. I can't blame you for going after that in the Harmless Hell way.
Yeah, the other one was in Spiral Cave, so it wasn't exactly ideal to go get at any point.
Yeah, especially without the boots at that point when you guys both went up there. I guess the other difference between the two of you, Salty, you went ahead and got the lamp out of the digging game, where Pikapals, you skipped it. So, is it? Do you feel like you're better with the dark rooms when you have the lamp, or you feel like your dark room execution is one way or the other?
I generally feel pretty good about my dark rooms. I went for it for a couple of reasons. One, it was only the 6th dig I saw. That was a nice thing about the spoiler log, that you could see that. And also, I needed some more rupees as well to buy a potion and get myself into pods. So I was going to go down to that arrow game anyway to get some rupees from that. So since I was so close, I figured I might as well at that.
Yeah, you pulled out that arrow game, which we usually only see in inverted mode. So it was fun to see that routed in for this particular.
Yeah, there was a few rupees kind of around, but they weren't exactly right in the way. Like I could have gone over to mini Moldorm Cave to get a bunch, I guess. There was some in Sahasrahla, but none of those places were really right where I was walking by. Like the arrow game felt like by far the most convenient place.
The other impressive play I saw from you, Salty, was right there at the beginning. Is you took 3 bombs into the back of the main part of the escape, going to Zelda cell, and I was worried for you there. With only 3 bombs, how are you going to defeat all the enemies? And then you proved me wrong by pulling a key out of that first chest and then using the extra key to bypass the 2nd and 3rd guards that you have to normally.
That was kind of a last minute thing that I figured out, actually, since I had about 3 or 4 minutes left after I finished routing everything for this one, and I was kind of searching through, because I've wanted to try to find a way to get that moon pearl before going to Kakariko, because I figured that would save me a double dip there. And eventually I found those 3 bombs in Link's house, and I'm like, well, I need a couple more. I need a 5 ideally to go all the way through there. And then I found the key there. I'm like, wait a minute, that's perfect. I only need to kill the 1 enemy to get through at that point in time. So yeah, it worked out perfect when I saw that.
Yeah, so just an example of one of the great things that you can plan out when you have the spoiler log at your disposal.
Yeah, I might have tried to do the same thing, but I made a mistake and was planning on getting Bomba's tablet right after pod, forgetting that I didn't have a 2nd sword yet. So I ended up just changing that to be when I got the fire rod at the last second.
All right. Well, both of you runners did an excellent job with the seed. So that puts you,
Absolutely.
SaltyPhry, with 2 wins. So you'll be moving on to the round of 8. And unfortunately, Pikapals, that's going to put you out of this tournament. Anything you'd like to say here on the last race?
No, just it's been fun. Good luck to SaltyPhry.
All right.
Well, I just wanted to say I came in a little late, but I'm a big fan of both of y'all's, and it was awesome to watch the last 20 minutes or so of y'all's run.
Yes, indeed. Both of these runners are excellent runners, and definitely do give them a follow. If you there's the command there in chat. Be sure to follow both of their streams, and also be sure to give a follow to our tracker this time around, which was Dimensive, so helping us out with the item tracking. And also be sure to follow the Speed Gaming family of networks. So Speed Gaming with no number, and then Speed Gaming 2 through 6.
Awesome job, guys.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the restream, and thanks for the commentary, the tracking, and everything.
No problem. Thank you for running for us and giving us a great show tonight. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this spoiler log tournament race. So until next time, have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.